Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is our great moment of sharing information about cryptocurrency. As usual, it's me, the content, and I have been really a bit silent because I have been busy a little bit, but I'm still updating you about Pi Network. So, as usual, I would like to request you to subscribe to this YouTube channel because this is where you can get information about Pi Network and how Pi Network is a strong project, so you can subscribe and hit the bell so that you can get the next information that is provided and updates. So today I don't want to take time updating you. I just want to bring a topic which is controversial, people that they don't understand, and people have been really asking me about it, that is it possible, and people have panicked because of it, and people has already given up about the project. So the topic of today is GCV, which is 314,000 US 159 cents. I mean $159. So many people have a lot of questions about this GCV. But if you have heard of the meeting that I recently uploaded, it was a GCV Ambassador Global Core team where they carried out a meeting and people have asked more questions about the meeting. And I have uploaded the video. If you have not really followed the meeting is there, so that you can understand why we are still stuck and still talking about the GCV, and why we are still waiting for it, and how and what they have said in the meeting. But so far, if you have not attended, I am going to tell you why I'm still talking about the GCV and why we are waiting for it. And soon GCV is going to be applied and the world is going to shake. Because the reason why I already talk about GCV is because every term that is being used in the blockchain of Pi Network, it is all about GCV. So in the meeting that happened, they were just informing the pioneers that the GCV is in the way, soon is going to be applied, and mostly they were just informing pioneers what is really going on, what is really happening, so that pioneers can be aware of what is happening. So my advice is really, I'm still stuck on my advice that pioneers should keep their mind in Pi, because the value of Pi is totally different of is determined in a different way that cryptocurrency values is determined, because normally the value of an asset is determined by the demand and supply. Look at what happened when you sell a land. Okay, let's first give an example of Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is a crypto asset. You find that its value is determined by the demand and supply, which is contrary when you compare to the way that a currency of your country has given its value. It did not depend on demand and supply, it only depended on a consensus. In your country, you agree that this kind of notes will have this value, and the notes got a value. Now, the same thing that is applied to Pi Network, because Pi Network will be a stable coin, won't be an asset, where the price of an asset will be determined by the current. So that's why I'm trying to say that the GCV is real. So if the price of Pi will depend on a consensus, that means that the Pi network won't be an asset, it is a currency really. So a currency, that means that if the price can be determined by a consensus, that means that Pi network will be a currency instead of an asset. So There's a lot of speculations, but we are waiting for a consensus meeting that will happen on 28th in May in Toronto, and it is supposed that even Dr. Nicholas will attend the meeting on the consensus meeting which will take place in Toronto, and we are strictly and willing to update you at any time about this meeting. But still, as we are waiting for the meeting, we are advising pioneers to keep their mined Pi coins as we move forward, even waiting for the second migrations, because soon we are going to receive the GCV is going to be applied, and Pi network is going to be is not going. I mean, is going to be launched. The mainnet is going to be launched in May, and the price is going to be pegged to 314,159, which is GCV, what the term that pioneers are used of, which is called GCV. So guys, I'm trying to encourage you and telling you it's not good. I don't want you guys to cry at the time after selling everything that you have worked for. There's no way that a project was built for the 6 years just to be available on OKX and BitGet, because sometimes we always mine a coin for 3 months, and after 3 months that coin can go to exchange and people trade it. So Pi network was not built for the only 6 years for just be available at OKX and its price being manipulated by the whales. The whales are the rich people in the crypto industry. Once they buy, the market goes up. Once they say, the market goes down. If you did not know that, the whales, at least whales can manage a market, because once they buy and you are not in buying, so you're finished. So that's what I can say, that GCV price is real, and soon to the Pi Open mainnet things are coming in our way, and we are going to see a lot of things really happen. So guys, I'm just trying to update you to stay vigilant and just to stay away and awake, because the time is coming. So when we normally talk about GCV, some people are against us, saying that GCV is impossible. That maybe if you take people who have if you take our national bank, even the population we have that are having Pi network, our national bank cannot get the money to give. No. Once Pi network will be a currency, you are not supposed to think of exchanging it to any currency. We normally exchange the assets. Those are the Bitcoin, those are the Ethereum. We exchange them because they are assets, and we need to exchange them into a currency. But once Pi network will be a global currency, you will not need to exchange into any currency. What you will just need is to just consume into goods and services, because it will be a currency. Maybe you can use it buying Bitcoin, maybe by buying Ethereum, because it's a currency, but you cannot use it just exchanging. It won't be there for only exchanging. So that's why I'm telling you that you guys, you need to know the value. Once you have Pi network, you won't need any currency for the Pi network to work for you. What you just need is just to buy goods and services that you need in needs. So don't be challenged and be holded by the system that we have been of taking every coin, every access that we get, that we are supposed to exchange into the currency. Of course, that system has been there because it has been there because we didn't have we had an assets, and we needed currency so that we can consume goods and services. But so far, Pi network will be playing a big role as a currency. So that's why I'm saying that you guys, you will not need any other currency to consume Pi network, because Pi network, once it's confirmed, its GCV price will be confirmed. It's just going to be a currency, and you can consume goods and services in it. So guys, thank you very much for listening to us, I would like to request you to subscribe to this YouTube channel, because this YouTube channel, it is aimed of providing mining field cryptocurrencies, and also want to learn crypto trading. They can just write me online. I can teach you online from the beginning up to the end of trading until you start making money. So guys, thank you very much. See you in the next video. God bless you.